What's up YouTube, it's Zapdos TCG here and thanks again for tuning in for another TCG deck profile video on my channel. Today we can check out Rayquaza GX. This is an amazing GX card from the Celestial Storm set and we're gonna have an entire deck profile video just for you guys so you have an idea of how to play with Rayquaza GX. If you want to learn more about Rayquaza GX in particular, definitely check out the link in the description below. There's gonna be a detailed video there explaining everything there is to know about Rayquaza GX. So let's go straight into this list. It's going to be a speedy list to set up our Rayquaza GX as quickly as possible, so hopefully you are prepared for that. We're gonna run 4 copies of the Rayquaza GX. Rayquaza GX is just the main attacker. It also has that Tempest GX with a single grass energy. We are able to just discard our hand and draw 10 cards, very consistent. It also has, of course, the Dragon Break attack. Now with that Dragon Break attack, we deal 30 damage for every energy we have in play. So that is only for Lightning type energies and Grass type energies, only basic energies. So we're only gonna have those types in the deck. And we also have, of course, that amazing ability which lets us discard the top 3 cards from our deck. And then we can discard an energy that we find in the discard to, of course, Rayquaza GX. So it's gonna be a speedy list. Think about Sycamore, think about Acro Bike, think about Max Legends. It's gonna be speedy like that. We also have Latias Prism Star at our disposal. Latias Prism Star makes sure that we can just get our Rayquaza GX set up in time. We have that attack, of course, it is called Dreamy Mist, and with that attack we deal 30 damage, and then we can attach a basic energy from our discard pile to each one of our Dragon type basic Pokemon. So that will be kind of huge. Let's say we can get this out on our second turn, assuming that we go first, and then we can just start using that attack, put up some pressure together with maybe a Fighting Fury belt, and boom, out of nowhere, Rayquaza GX will be filled with a bazillion amount of energies, and then we are gonna deal the one-shots here and there, because Rayquaza GX only needs 6 energies in total to hit, of course, the magical number 180 with the Fighting Fury belt. That will be, of course, 190. Things like Boswell GX will go down, things like Ultra Necrozma GX will go down. If we want to get higher, we need just an extra energy, and off we are rolling. We're not gonna run choice band whatsoever, so you guys are you should be not worried here. We are gonna use the Fighting Fury belt because Rayquaza only has 180 HP. That's a little bit fragile in my opinion, so Fighting Fury belt will be the best option in my opinion. This is also a pre-rotation deck exclusively for the month and a half that are still remaining for this set, or actually this season. You can just try it out at a League Challenge, and maybe you're also going to Worlds, could also be a very big help for you. If you want to see post-rotation, that will be coming on the channel very shortly, so be sure you are subscribed so you don't ever miss out, because the post-rotation stuff will be kind of amazing. We're gonna update all the existing decks in the format, but for now, this is pre-rotation, so let's go. We are gonna have 1 copy of Tapu Koko GX. It has the Arrow Trail ability. Sometimes it can fly in out of nowhere and take a huge KO here, because of course the Tapu Chunder GX deals 50 damage for every energy the opponent has in play, and against things like Malamar that relies on a bunch of energies, or maybe against the mirror match Rayquaza GX, we're gonna have that 1-hit KO move at our disposal. We can use Ultra Bolt to search it out, and out of nowhere Tapu Koko flies in. It also deals 130 damage with the Sky High Claws, which can also one-shot things like Baby Volcanions, Greninjas if they are still around, or maybe even relevant in the format at all. It also one-shots things like Latias Prism Stars in the mirror match, so a very solid card, Tapu Koko GX, because sometimes you don't even need to rely on Tempest GX. We have a bunch of consistency cards already in our deck. Next up is gonna be 2 copies of Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele is an amazing consistency card. It searches out a supporter straightly from our deck. What more could you wish for? Sometimes we're gonna discard a bunch of our resources, and with, of course, let's say we discarded Lele, we have Rescue Stretcher. We can immediately search in our discard for that Lele and get that last Guzma for the game. So an amazing card indeed. Also in the early games, if you don't have a draw supporter, search it out with Tapu Lele. Only 2 copies, I think that's the reasonable amount in this deck. And then 1 copy of Oranguru. Oranguru, of course, with the Instruct ability, is able to draw cards until we have 3 in the hand, and with cards like Ultra Ball and of course Mysterious Treasure, we're gonna empty out our hand, and then we can make use of Oranguru. Also, this deck does not have the best matchup against the Hoopa from Shining Legend, which walls the attacks of course our GXs, so Oranguru can one-shot Hoopas if they have 3 energies attached with the Psychic attack, so that's also a very niche use of Oranguru. Moving forward, we're gonna go over the supporters. The supporters will be very straightforward. We are gonna run 4 copies of course, the Sycamore. Sycamore is the most and a heavy draw supporter in the entire format as of yet. It will rotate in September, but that's problems for later. Today we're just gonna make use of Sycamore, discarding our hand, drawing 7 fresh cards. Very amazing, and will draw into those crucial things, maybe Acro Bikes, maybe Rayquaza GX, and you can set up very quickly. And I cannot stress enough how fast this deck is. After testing, this is definitely gonna be one of those top decks. I know it is kind of fragile, so that's why Fighting Fury Bell will be shown in the video later. We also have 2 copies of N, very great in the late game. Let's say you have a bazillion amount of energies in play. The only thing you need to do is use an N while the opponent dead draws, and then using Dragon Break a couple of turns, and then you win the game. So N, very crucial in the late game. We have Oranguru, so we can definitely safely N. Next up is 2 copies of Cynthia. Cynthia is also a very great draw supporter. It does not discard your hand, but it gives you a fresh hand of 6, which is awesome. Sometimes you don't want to discard crucial things. Let's say you have 3 Guzmas in the hand and a Sycamore and a Cynthia. What will you use? Of course the Cynthia, because you don't want to discard your entire resources. We have 3 copies of Guzmas. I might crack it up to 4 after testing, but 3 copies seems to be fine as of yet. You can just target anything the opponent has on the bench, and you can just destroy them, of course, with the Dragon Break attack, because Dragon Break deals a bunch of damage. And if you cannot one-shot, let's just try out Tapu Koko GX. That GX move is also amazing. Then moving forward with more consistency cards, 2 copies of Acro Bike being reprinted in the Celestial Storm set. These are older copies from the Primal Clash set, which is awesome. You can just look at the top 2 cards from your deck and choose one, and the rest, actually the other one goes in the discard, which might be great. If it's an energy, we can make use of Rayquaza GX. If it's something else, we can get it back later, because we have a bunch of cards to shuffle things back from the discard in the deck. We're gonna have 3 copies of Ultra Ball. Now you might say, why not 4 copies of Ultra Ball? I always think 4 is the best number. Well, no problem here. We're gonna have 4 copies of Mysterious Treasure instead, because Mysterious Treasure, believe it or not, is way better in this deck. You can get, of course, your things out. The Mysterious Treasure can get out your Dragon types, which is Latias, Prism Star, and Rayquaza GX. The reason that there are so much draws, actually you cannot see it too much because of the lightning, but it is a Mysterious Treasure. Yeah, maybe, yeah, this is better. So Mysterious Treasure can get out your Latias, Prism Star, can get out your Rayquaza, can get out your Lele. So Mysterious Treasure is obviously way better than Ultra Ball, so 4 copies of that, 3 copies of that is going to be amazing. Ultra Ball is also great getting out your Koko GX or Oranguru, but all the rest is searchable with Mysterious Treasure. Moving forward, more energies on the field. How do you do that? Of course, you guys are right. It is with Max Elixir. 4 copies of Max Elixir is solid here. We're gonna run 14 energies, which you'll see later down in the video. And well, of course, Max Elixir, you can just look at the top 7 cards of your deck, or actually the top 6 cards, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's the top 6 cards. Top 7 cards as energy lotto. Excuse me for that. So the top 6 cards, if there's an energy in there, boom, you can attach it to one of your basic Pokemon on the bench, and off we are going with this. Using a couple of Max Elixir together with Rayquaza GX and maybe a Latias Prism Star, and out of nowhere you'll have a bunch of energies in play. Moving forward, we're gonna have, no, it's not Choice Band, it is going to be Fighting Fury Belt. Why is Fighting Fury Belt way better? Well, it adds the HP up to 220, a very solid number, because a lot of things hit for 210 nowadays, and with that additional amount of HP, we will survive a couple of hits. And as you all know, Buzzwole still doesn't run any Field Blower, so they won't Field Blow away that Fighting Fury Belt. They will have a hard time to one-shot Rayquaza GX, while we can just use the Dragon Impact turn after turn. Moving forward, we have 3 copies of Floatstone. We do have, of course, the method of free retreat here, because Rayquaza does have a 3 retreat cost, and you just want to get that Latias Prism Star in the active in the early game, so that's why 3 Floatstone is great. You can also start with Oranguru, which is going to be, start with Oranguru, but we have 3 copies of Floatstone. I would think like Sycamore, Acro Bike, and all that great stuff, we can definitely get out our Floatstone, or actually find our Floatstones. Then 2 copies of Field Blower. Field Blower is just needed here because Garbage Toxin is still a nuisance in the format, and with that we don't have any abilities. And if you look at our deck, yeah, almost everything has an ability, so we definitely want to get rid of those Floatstones, or maybe something else, or tool cards from the Garbage Toxin Garbodor. It also is great to just knock off some Floatstones, knock out stadium cards like Parallel, for example, and more like that. So 2 copies of Field Blower is kind of neat. Next, recovery cards. We're gonna run 2 copies of Rescue Stretcher. Rescue Stretcher is kind of needed, so let's just put it over here because the lightning is still doing some weird things here. Okay, 2 copies of the Rescue Stretcher. Rescue Stretcher is nice because, as mentioned, you use the ability of Rayquaza, discard a couple of crucial things, and with Rescue Stretcher you can get them back. Let's say you discard a Lele, you can get it back with Rescue Stretcher. Let's say Rayquaza GX got knocked out early game, you can get it back with Rescue Stretcher. You cannot get back your Latias Prism Star because that one goes to the Lost Zone, but let's say Tapu Koko gets in the discard, those Rescue Stretchers will make sure that we can reuse all the Pokemon if we happen to discard it, because Rayquaza is kind of aggressive. Also the same thing goes for Acro Bike, so a very aggressive list indeed. And also 1 copy of the Pal Pad, because Pal Pad also gets back our supporters. Let's say you use the ability of Rayquaza and there are 3 cards that you didn't want to see in your discard, Guzma, and you're gonna say, oh crap! Well, there is a Pal Pad to save the day. Moving forward, we're gonna have 2 copies of the Parallel City. Parallel City is amazing, I cannot stress that enough. Works very good against Zoroark GX, works very good against Malamar. You can limit the opponent's bench space, that they can only have 3 bench spaces available to them unless they use another stadium card or field blow that away, so that's gonna be awesome. You can also flip it upside down because we don't need a lot of bench space, although if we reserve our energies, could be the case, and we want to attach as many energies with Latias Prism Star, but you can also flip it upside down while the opponent has a grass or a water type or a fire type. They will be reduced, their damage output will be reduced by 20, which could be significant in certain matchups. And then to finish off the list, we are gonna have 7 grass energies. 7 grass energies seems to be the solid number here because Max Elixir always has to work, and that's why 7 grass energies is great, and also the same amount of energies for, of course, the basic lightning energies. So in total, we'll be having 14 energies, so here you have them. So 14 energies, 7 lightning, 7 grass. It is based on the national winning list in Japan, Japan. The person that won that entire tournament also ran 14 energies, so that is the solid number. So that is the deck list I have for you today. So a deck profile on Rayquaza GX, which will be coming out on the 3rd of August, and this is going to be kind of an insane fast deck and works very well against Zoroark GX. Zoroark GX is always great because we can Guzma it out, one-shot it, Lycanroc we can one-shot out, Goliath we can one-shot it. Baby Buzzwolves will be kind of a nuisance, but we have Fighting Fury Belt, so they cannot field blow that away. The only thing I see that this deck will not be able to do here is try and beat Hoopa. Hoopa is kind of a very unfavorable matchup for this list, but other than that, it's a very solid deck. Definitely try it out for yourself. Let me know what you would change about the list, and if you enjoy what you saw, be sure to demolish the like button. As always, you know I always appreciate that, and it gives me support and motivation to make more Pokemon TCG videos for you guys. Also check out the previous deck profile video, which will be shown at the end of the video. That is about Naganadel GX with Stack Attacker GX. More deck profile videos are coming on the channel soon, and of course post rotation stuff will also come. Booster box videos about Celestial Storm, all the good stuff you are expected to see here. So if you enjoy the Pokemon trading card game and want to stay up to date with everything Pokemon competitive related, definitely subscribe. It will help me out as well, and you will always get the latest information on whatever device you want. So pretty convenient, right? And with that, I will leave you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Enjoy your summer, and I will see you guys soon enough. Peace out.